Hey everyone, thinking about buying a home in Amarillo.
Well, you've come to the right place.
It sounds like Herring Bank is on your radar, and we've got a ton of info to unpack today.
Yeah, we've got all the juicy details about the Amarillo real estate market.
Plus, we dug deep into Herring Bank's website, to see what they're all about.
So let's get this deep dive started.
Right, first things first, the Amarillo market is HOT,
Oh, yeah, median home price.
about $280,000.
And that's actually up a bit from last year, like 1.6%.
It's a seller's market for sure, but there's still a good range of properties out there.
Right, something for every budget.
But here's the thing, houses are selling fast.
Like crazy fast.
18 days on the market, on average.
So you got to be ready to move quickly when you find the one.
Absolutely. And that's where having a good lender comes in.
Totally. Someone who can get you pre-approved and ready to make an offer ASAP.
Speaking of lenders, that's where Herring Bank comes into the picture.
They're all about those relationships for a lifetime. At least that's what their website says.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Makes you wonder, right?
Is it just marketing fluff or is there something more to it?
I mean, think about it. If they're truly focused on building relationships,
Yeah.
it could mean they're really invested in understanding your financial situation. Like not just trying to sell you any old loan.
It's like they actually care about finding the right fit for you.
Right, exactly.
So what kind of loans do they offer?
Well, it seems like they've got a pretty wide variety.
Oh, like what?
Conventional, FHA, VA, USDA,
Wow, they really do cover the bases.
even jumbo loans.
Okay, so they seem to cater to a lot of different needs and situations.
Yeah, that's impressive.
But what makes them stand out? Like, why should someone choose Herring Bank over another lender in Amarillo?
Well, for starters, they're a direct lender.
Now, I've heard that term before, but honestly, I'm not totally sure what it means.
Okay, so imagine you need a custom-made suit. Do you go to a department store that outsources the tailoring?
Or go straight to the tailor who'll do it all in-house.
Bingo.
Mm-hmm.
Direct lender means they handle everything themselves.
Oh, I get it. No middleman.
Exactly, so it can mean faster processing times.
And maybe even better rates, too.
Potentially, yeah. Plus, local underwriting. Decisions are made by folks who actually know the Amarillo market.
So, in this crazy competitive market, being a direct lender could give them a serious edge.
Definitely. They also make a big deal about being transparent upfront.
Oh, like how?
No obligation loan estimates. You see potential costs before committing.
I like that. No hidden surprises.
Right, builds trust. And they're all about that local service, remember?
Yeah, but is that just a marketing thing or do they actually deliver?
Well, they do have a bunch of branches right here in Amarillo.
Okay, so they're not just some big corporation far away.
I'm part of the community.
So it's like having a local guide who understands the market, like the neighborhoods, all that.
Exactly. Now, here's another thing. They've got this whole tech-driven platform.
Oh, you mean like online applications and stuff?
Yeah, manage documents, track your loan status, all that good stuff.
Convenient for sure.
But I wonder, does all that tech make it feel less personal?
That's a good question. I mean, I like the convenience, but I also want to feel like a person, not just a number.
All right, so do they find that balance between tech and personal touch?
I guess that's what we need to find out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they integrate that into their whole relationships for a lifetime philosophy.
Well, we've got a lot more to uncover about Herring Bank, so stay tuned as we keep digging.
So we've talked about what Herring Bank is saying about themselves.
Right, all that relationships for a lifetime stuff.
But actions speak louder than words, right?
Exactly. What's their track record like?
Well, they've definitely been around for a while.
Like how long?
Over a century, actually.
Wow. That's a long time in the banking world.
Yeah, they've weathered a lot of economic ups and downs over the years.
So they must know a thing or two about stability, huh?
It seems that way. I mean, surviving that long takes resilience and adaptability.
That's reassuring, especially if you're thinking about trusting them with your mortgage.
Right, it's a sign they've got a solid foundation.
But what about their presence in Amarillo specifically?
Well, they've got multiple branches here, and they seem pretty involved in the community.
Okay, so they're not just some big corporation with no ties to Amarillo.
No, they seem pretty invested in the area.
Which makes sense if they're all about building those long-term relationships.
Exactly. It's easier to do that when you're actually part of the community.
But let's talk about the bottom line. Are their loan terms and rates competitive?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. I mean, that's what really matters at the end of the day.
Unfortunately, interest rates are constantly fluctuating.
Yeah, that's true.
So we don't have any specific numbers to share from our sources.
Okay, that's fair. But is there anything we can glean from what we do know?
Absolutely. Remember, they're a direct lender.
Right, which you said can often mean better rates and fees.
Exactly, because they're cutting out the middleman.
It's like going straight to the source, right?
Yeah, and that can save you money in the long run.
I like the sound of that.
hmm
But I guess we'll have to wait and see what kind of actual numbers they offer.
The best way to know for sure is to reach out to them directly and get personalized quotes.
Good advice. But before we move on, I want to circle back to that relationships for a lifetime thing.
Sure, we've talked about their history, their local presence.
Yeah, and how that all could contribute to building stronger relationships with their customers.
But are they really walking the walk?
That's the question, isn't it? And I think the best way to find out is to hear from real people.
Exactly. Let's dive into those customer reviews and see what people are saying about their experiences with Herring Bank.
All right, let's get the inside scoop. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, we've looked at the Amarillo market.
Dug into Herring Bank's history, their loan options, all that.
We even talked about what it means to be a direct lender.
And how their tech platform works.
But now it's time for the real test.
The moment of truth.
Do they actually live up to this whole relationships for a lifetime thing?
Right, because anyone can talk the talk.
But walking the walk, that's what matters.
And that's where customer reviews come in.
Yeah, those real-life experiences can tell us a lot.
So what are people saying about Herring Bank?
Well, one thing that pops up a lot is their local service.
Okay, like how so?
People rave about the loan officers,
Oh, yeah.
saying they're super helpful, responsive,
That's good to hear.
even going the extra mile to make things happen.
So it's not just a marketing ploy.
Right, they seem to genuinely care about their customer.
I remember you mentioned something about a reviewer who had a tricky title issue.
Yeah, and their loan officer really stepped up, used their local knowledge to help sort it out.
That's what you want, someone who knows the ins and outs of the Amarillo market.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just closing the deal. Some reviewers mentioned how their loan officers checked in with them even after they'd moved in.
Just to see how they were doing.
Yeah, like months later.
That's pretty impressive.
It shows they're thinking long-term, building those relationships.
Okay, so they seem to be doing well on the personal side?
But what about the actual loan process itself?
Yeah, is it as smooth and efficient as they claim?
Well, most reviewers seem to agree that it is. They talk about how quickly their loans were approved and closed.
Faster than they expected.
Yeah, especially compared to past experiences with other lenders.
I guess that direct lender advantage really makes a difference.
It seems that way. And people also like the tech platform.
The online stuff?
Yeah, the convenience of applying online, uploading documents, all that.
Makes sense. It's 2024 after all.
Right. But they've managed to do it without sacrificing that personal touch.
Best of both worlds, huh?
Exactly. Now, of course, no company is perfect.
There are always going to be a few hiccups here and there.
And we did see some negative reviews, yeah.
What were people complaining about?
Mostly minor things like communication breakdowns
Okay, that happens sometimes.
or maybe a slight delay in processing.
Nothing major.
Not really, but what's important is how they respond to those issues.
Right, that's what shows their true colors.
And from what we saw, Herring Bank seems to take customer feedback seriously.
Like, they actually try to make things right.
Yeah, they engage with those negative reviews, offer to follow up, resolve the problem.
That's good to
So
know.
it's back to that relationship-focused approach.
When you have a dedicated loan officer who knows you,
Mm-hmm.
they're more likely to go the extra mile.
Exactly.
So, after all this digging, what's the final verdict on Herring Bank?
Well, if you're looking for a home loan in Amarillo, they seem like a really strong contender.
They've got the history, the local expertise, and they seem to genuinely care about their customers.
Plus, they've got that direct lender advantage and a user-friendly tech platform.
But, as always, do your own research.
Absolutely. Reach out to them, talk to a loan officer, get personalized quotes.
Compare their offerings to other lenders. See what feels right for you.
At the end of the day, it's your decision.
Choose a lender who you feel good about.
Someone you trust. Someone who makes you feel like a valued customer.
Because buying a home is a big deal.
And you want a lending partner who's with you every step of the way.
We hope this deep dive has helped you get a clearer picture of what Herring Bank is all about.
And given you some things to think about as you navigate this exciting journey.
Happy house hunting, everyone.